two-division world champion Timothy Desert Storm Bradley says in his comeback, he wants to face Errol the True Spence Jr. He wants to face him due to the fact that Errol Spence is perceived as the boogeyman, and Timothy Bradley wants to take on the boogeyman if he was to come back. Stay tuned, coming up next.
Hey, this is Cassie, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout outs to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Hola, habla Cindy, está viendo Deportes TV.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So former two-division world champion Timothy Desert Storm Bradley is talking about a comeback. He's stating that he will come back, and if he does come back, he would like to fight Amir Khan should Amir Khan be victorious against Terrence Bud Crawford tomorrow night. But he really wants to face undefeated IBF welterweight champion Errol the True Spence Jr. He says he wants to face Errol Spence Jr. due to the fact that Errol Spence is perceived as the boogeyman in the division. He's looked at as the guy that nobody wants to fight. He's looked at as the mountain that nobody could climb. And Timothy Bradley says he wants to take on that challenge and face Errol Spence Jr. Ironically enough, Timothy Bradley had the opportunity to face Errol Spence Jr. before he retired. Timothy Bradley and Errol Spence Jr. were linked together quite some time before Timothy Bradley called it quits after his last fight with Manny Pacquiao. But the two were linked together for quite some time. There were rumors and reports that Errol Spence would be the mandatory for Timothy Bradley's titles and things of that nature. And people wanted to see Errol Spence versus Timothy Bradley, so on and so forth, etc., etc. Fast forward to today, 2019. Timothy Bradley has been out the ring since 2016. Now he's stating that, he could possibly make a comeback, but there's only two guys in mind. That and the latter is the more perceived fight for him, and that being Errol Spence Jr. We know Timothy Bradley has a history with Amir Khan. They were supposed to fight off and on for quite some time when the two were both at 140 pounds, the junior welterweight division. The fight never came to fruition. But now Timothy Bradley is, they have a rivalry. There's an ongoing feud between Timothy Bradley and Amir Khan. I don't know what happened yesterday to spark Timothy Bradley to want to come back. Maybe he's been thinking about this for quite some time. He's still relatively young in the sport. He hasn't been in the ring. He hasn't been active for 3 years. So, but that's not out the norm. We see Floyd Mayweather take a year and a half off and things of that nature. We see a lot of fighters do this. Andre Ward, Mikey Garcia was out the ring. That was all due to negotiations and contractually issues that they two had, but they was out the ring for quite some time nonetheless. And with that said, he's saying that he wants to come back to face Errol the True Spence Jr. He said he likes how he's perceived. The world looks at him as unbeatable at the welterweight division, and he wants to take on the challenge. Timothy Bradley only has 2 losses in his career, that coming at the hands of Manny Pacquiao. My thing with this is styles make fights, and I just don't see Timothy Bradley being able to beat Errol Spence Jr. or Amir Khan for that matter. Timothy Bradley doesn't have the best punching power in the world. You need some sort of power to keep Errol Spence off of you. Timothy Bradley just doesn't have that. Now, Timothy Bradley does possess boxing ability, you know what I mean? But he is 35 years old at this point in time. He's not, 40 years old as we look at Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, and, people talk about them coming back and things of that nature. And, we see guys fighting to their late 30s, early 40s now, today's time. But it's looked at and perceived, the way Timothy Bradley is looking at it is perceived that Errol Spence is the boogeyman, and he wants to, to challenge himself. Timothy Bradley never had the most punching power in the world. He only has 13 knockouts and 37 fights, so, the proof is in the pudding, but he's only had 2 losses, that coming at the hands of Manny Pacquiao. He does have a draw on his record, but the 2 losses coming at the hands of Manny Pacquiao. Timothy Bradley is definitely a Hall of Famer. He beat the likes of Devin Alexander. He has a victory over Manny Pacquiao, you know, he has a victory over Juan Manuel Marquez. He knocked out Brandon Rios. You know. So Timothy Bradley, I believe, is a Hall of Famer at this point in time. But with that said, I don't think it's a good idea for Timothy Bradley to come out of retirement and face Errol Spence Jr. I didn't think he had the tools when he was active to keep Errol Spence Jr. off him, and I think that Errol Spence Jr. would have beat him then. The more likely or the better fight for him at this point would be Amir Khan, but I don't think Amir Khan is going to be victorious against Terrence Bud Crawford tomorrow night. So I don't see Timothy Bradley fighting Amir Khan coming off a loss, especially if Amir Khan gets knocked out. What does that do for Timothy Bradley outside of settling a feud with Amir Khan? Now, that's a possibility. He could just want to settle the feud and just put hands on Amir Khan. That's a strong possibility. But with that said, you know, to come out of retirement and pick Errol Spence, you said you saw the same thing Mikey Garcia saw, and you picked Mikey Garcia to beat Errol Spence. Clearly, Mikey Garcia and you yourself, Tim Bradley, didn't see the correct thing, because Mikey Garcia got whitewashed from the first round to the last round. You know what I mean? So, you know, with that said, let's see how this plays out. Everybody seems to want to fight Errol Spence Jr. now that the limelight is on him. You know, he's on his way to being a cash cow. It seems like everybody's willing to get in the ring with him at this point in time. You know, Errol Spence, I don't think he would take the fight with Timothy Bradley right now. I think he would much rather go the route of Sean Porter or Terrence Crawford. You know, but let's see how this plays out. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Timothy Bradley sports a record of 33-2 with only 13 knockouts. You know, that's the alarming thing when you're talking about facing Errol Spence, you know. But with that said, you know, let's see how this all plays out. It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. Make sure you hit that like button, hit your subscribe button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Timothy Desert Storm Bradley says he wants to make a comeback and he wants to challenge himself against the undefeated IBF welterweight champion Errol the True Spence Jr. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Blue Blood Sport TV, baby, from the